Hi everybody, thank you very much for joining me for some Zen in the Den time today. Going to be having a nice relaxed shave with my new straight razor, and I know some of you do not shave with a straight, but I will have some information to impart to you which you might find useful. And we'll come to that shortly. The soap I am using today is the last of my sample of cold spices from PAA, and I have that on my 24mm Yaki clear brush. This soap from PAA lathers up really well, and I'm glad of that because I dropped my brush and of course it landed bristles down, and there is soap all over the floor down here, but thankfully there was more than enough in my bowl to make up for that, so we're going to be okay. Now we'll get some of this soap on my face before I show you the razor that I bought quite recently. It is a straight razor that I have wanted for a long time. They tend to be quite expensive, so I've never had one until now. And yeah, I'm very pleased to get it. I will show it off to you in a moment. It is a 5/8 razor, so the blade size is 5/8 of an inch. It cost me £62, but the bigger razor, the 6/8 razor, being sold by the same seller, was £160, so quite a difference in price, with the bigger razor being a little more popular. Now I'm just going to work this soap into my bristles, just using the end of the brush, and make sure that all my bristles have been worked gently, lifted. And I think that we'll go with that for the moment. I hope you are doing very well today, all of you. I'm quite tired today, so that was why I just thought just have a nice easy shave. It's something I enjoy, and I never used to shave when I was tired, when I had a cartridge razor. It was always first, well, that's a lie actually, it was always first thing in the morning, and I was always tired, but you know what I mean. It wasn't a time that I ever relaxed. So here is my Puma razor. I'm just going to dry my hands again, making sure to be careful. There is the handle. Can you see there's like a grain in the handle? I don't know if you can see it. There is the Puma badge. And there we are on the scales. It says Puma, Solingen, hole number 1938 5/8 of an inch, and it has a styled barber's notch on the end there. It is a hollow ground razor, hence the word hole, which means hollow. So we'll get started, shall we? The gentleman I bought this from kindly got it shave ready for me. I have shaved with it once already. And it is very nice indeed. Now, glasses off to start with, as usual, in the big mirror. Now, I don't think I've got enough water in this lather. Oh no, I was wrong. We're all right. Now you may find that, or you may think that it's a strange thing for me to say, but I'm having trouble dating my Puma number 1938. I don't think it was made in 1938. I think it may be later, but that is a guess because I'm finding that good, reliable information is hard to come by. Excuse me, I'm just getting my notes set there. I was on the wrong page. So I thought I'd start just by imparting some general information about straight razors. So generally, between 1830 and 1880, the old cast steel was being replaced by the new silver steel. And Puma razors, on a lot of their advertisements, use silver steel. Barber's notches started to appear. And you also started to get a little decoration on the spine of the razor. And then from 1870 to 1900, hollow ground razors started to replace the older wedge style razors. And photo etching became popular on the blade because the razor was hollow ground. It meant you could hone that razor without wearing away the etching because that lay in the hollow of the blade. So I don't know why I've put that up there. So the etching became very popular, and in the 1900s straight razors were so popular that knife manufacturers started to add them to their product lines, and Puma were initially a knife manufacturer, and they remain so today. As I said, there is little information about Puma straight razors, except I realised that this one is made for an English market perhaps, because there's a label on the back there. I won't show it you close up, but it says the unusually smooth shave of the Puma razor depends on the steel being forged twice, i.e. being hammered and hammered again. So that is written in English rather than German. So there was obviously a market for the razors both in Germany and abroad. I'm just going to add a drop more soap and a drop more water. There we go. I'll show you the box in a moment, because there's a label on the box, on the original box. There we are, first pass. All done. It is very nice to shave with. It'll be fantastic on a second and third pass, honestly. Here we are, have the razor packet there. You can see Puma, made with Sheffield steel, which is interesting. Some German there, and on the back it shows you the correct way to strop your razor. It has the owner's name written there, Lauter Young and Sohn, Puma factory, Solingen. And inside here we have a label for Thomas Winter, ladies and gents hairdresser, Emmett Street and Connaught Street in Beora in Ireland. And what is quite interesting about that is that after 1899 the town became known as Beora, which means a plain of water. I imagine it's by a lake or something maybe, but before 1899 it was called Parsonstown. So a nice little bit of history there. I find that quite fascinating. So this razor is definitely, I would say, well, definitely after 1899, 1900. Now I am just going to add a drop of water to this. And I'm just going to work that in a little bit more. My soap was not bad before, but I just felt it could do with a little more hydration, just to make the soap a little bit more slick on my skin. Now, I've not worked that as much as I would like, but that will do very nicely. Now that looks much better. I said before this was a hollow ground razor rather than the old wedge shape. My Joseph Rogers that I like to shave with is a wedge shape, and with the hollow ground razor they place the blade between, these days they place it between two circular grindstones, but as they push the razor in between the stones, it removes material from this part of the blade, making a hollow grind. That's how the name came about. Initially it was probably done on one grinding wheel rather than two wheels together on a machine, but now I think I can get away with not taking my glasses off. This is the first time that I've shaved with a hollow grind razor. Well, for quite a long time. I did try one when I first began shaving, or trying to shave, with a straight razor. But in all honesty, my skills weren't up to the job. I found it quite difficult to use. The blade is very thin because of the grind, and because of the length of a straight razor, there is a degree of flexibility in the blade, and as a beginner I found that the heavier wedge helped me, the weight of the razor helped me. I also found, that it was very difficult for me to strop a hollow ground razor. I found that with the thin edge, and because my stropping skills had not yet been developed to what they are now, I found it was very easy to blunt that edge, and typically I was shaving with the razor once, and then I would take it to the strop and make it blunt, and then I would send it off to my friend Dean, and he would fix it, and I would repeat the same thing again. And no matter how I tried or how slowly I went, typically that's what happened nearly every time. And in the end I found that I just gave it up on using a hollow ground razor, and it eventually stuck with the wedges, which have served me very well. I know when I started I was full of, which is the best razor for a beginner to straight razor shaving. It depends on such a lot, but from my experience, I would say generally if you have very large hands and large fingers, a 5/8 razor such as I've got here might be a little small for you. Maybe you'd like something bigger and more comfortable in your hand. I've got very slim hands and fingers, so a 5/8 razor actually suits me quite well, even though I think I would prefer a 6/8 razor. And I think many that are starting to shave or thinking about shaving with a straight razor will find a wedge or a half wedge shape a little easier to deal with in the beginning. It is, like all things, quite a learning process, something to be taken slowly. But I also know people that have bought hollow ground razors as their first razors, and they have just learned to use them. So it really is horses for courses. Different horses for different courses, something like that. Oh, I love the scent of this soap. It has got menthol in it, hence cold spices rather than old spices. It's not got a lot of menthol in it, and you can pick up the menthol. I must admit, I'd like to have one of these without the menthol. I think in terms of the old spice scent, this is very close, but very nice as well. Much nicer than my original puck that I had, which had a little bit of an odd smell. I know I've talked about this before, but this one is a lovely scent. Here we are now. Third and final pass. I'll have to dry my razor very carefully. I would hate water to get underneath this rubber, even though it is very well glued down. That is going to be the area to watch. It is a little noisier than the wedge, this hollow ground razor, because of the thinness of the blade. Do you know, for a right-handed person, I find doing that side of my neck really easy with my left hand. Ooh, caught my glasses, I don't want to be doing that. With a little bit of experience, you know, you can feel when the blade is right on your skin, and there was a moment there where I just stopped and moved moved the razor off my skin. Because I felt that it had just caught a little bit. Same thing happened just there. I think my skin is becoming a little dry. Possibly that is the reason. Yeah, I caught myself a little bit there. I'm trying to keep the spine of the blade quite close to my skin. And actually, excuse me, that is quite difficult to do, looking at a small tablet screen. Yeah, definitely, just nicked myself there. Now, I didn't feel anything there at all, just goes to show you. There we are, that will suffice for today's shave. I'm going to use the back corner of the towel just to take any immediate moisture off that blade, and I will take a small piece of tissue paper to it in a moment and make sure that it's completely dry before I strop it, and then it will go into the bedroom where it will remain out of its box for a day. Now let's put a little bit of, I'm putting on some Proraso pre-shave. What not? Oh God, that feels good. Just coming back, I'm going to go with a pre-shave again. So I probably wiped all of it off, but there we go. Let's just put a drop of that on there. Now I've got a great aftershave today to go with cold spices. It is, of course, vintage Old Spice, and trying to just use a little drop of this, because you know, look at the hole in there and it splurges out. And as that is expensive, I want it to last. But oh my goodness, it's nice. I've had a very nice shave with that Puma number 1938 straight razor from goodness knows when. I'm very pleased to have it in my collection. I'm very pleased that I'm getting a nice shave with it. That is the most important thing, let's face it. So I hope whatever you are shaving with, single edge or double edge or straight razor, I hope you're having good shaves today. I'll see you next time around. Thank you for being a part of my shave. Take care now. Bye bye.